Well, hello, this is Rosa, rcgkreations. How you doing? We're bringing to you today how to dehydrate fresh eggs. I have these little egg containers. I like them because they're clear and I can see exactly how much is in the fridge versus how much is in my extra fridge. Oh, I forgot my... Bear with me, I need a bowl for my eggshells. Actually, no, I don't need a bowl for my eggshells because I'm going to be making mine in the little magic bullet. So, magic bullet. See that? Now, you can definitely use the great big blender, but you never know how many trays, how many eggs you're going to have, and you may have more eggs than you have trays. Not only that, but for us, the my dehydrator is in the formal dining room, and there's carpet in there, and I'm not making a mess, and you don't want a mess of spilt raw egg in your carpet. Okay, so I'm making some hard-boiled eggs for later as a snack. So, oh, well, I guess I didn't wipe very clean. I just made some banana bread. I'm getting ready to make banana pudding, but I need to get these eggs because they're getting old. Before they get too old, I need to process them. You can break them. I'll put a link to the video where I did the frozen eggs, but there's one of my subscribers that asked for a how do you dehydrate eggs, so I'll show her. Break your egg. If you can't use another container, oops. Yeah, you're on point. Come and see. Okay. And I save my eggs because I dry them out in the sun. We're in Texas, so this Texas heat is more than enough for the, actually I should have, oh, I already got that dirty. Well, I just washed it, but it's okay, I'll wash it again. And the Texas heat will bake and kill all the, I forget what it is. I'll put it in the pop-up, but there's a word for it that you want to do. You want to kill it before you crush your eggs. You could either crush them or just hand crush them with your hand and make big little chunks. And you can put them on the topsoil of your containers, and that helps slugs from climbing up and into your pots and eating your vegetables. The leaves, they like the leaves and stuff. Depending on what kind of bug it is, what kind of slug, caterpillars, whatever. But they don't like, it's not going to deter them totally, but it's going to help them not climb up there. Oh, I made a big mess on that one. Or maybe that was water because I literally just got it out of the sink. Let me turn my towel on because that's egg. Okay. So that's something that you can do if you have a garden. And even if you have houseplants, this, a lot of houseplants need this calcium from the eggshells. I'll do a little pop-up of what houseplants and what vegetable plants like extra calcium. If you have one of those plant meters, that's the best thing for you to do. That way you can test it and you can see. Okay, I think that's enough for right now. Where's my, where did I put my, oh, there's my lid. So, oh, I lost count. How many eggs did I put in there? Aw, I was talking. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that was 9 eggs. So 9 eggs. Thank goodness for the video. I'll come back to it. We'll see how many eggs fit my tray. And again, it depends on the size of the dehydrator or what size trays you have. I have a Nesco Garden Master, and it's, I believe, 17 inch. Could be 14, I forget. So depending on what size your dehydrator trays are, and you do need jelly jars or a silicone mat with a lip, because it's liquid, it is going to spread. Okay, so you definitely need to do that. If you don't have that, don't even try this. Now I have heard you could do this in the oven. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it because I've had a dehydrator for over 30. So my daughter's 42, so almost 25 years. Okay, that's it. Now let's open this up. And I'm going to pause you, and I'm going to bring you to the dining room with the dehydrators, because we're going to I'm going to show you step by step. So those who are new, don't know how to do this, they have an idea. So we'll bring you right back. Okay, we are back. I have my tray with a little jelly roll on top. This is the little jelly roll. You see how it's got that little lip? Very slowly, you're going to pour your egg mixture over that. Depending on if your dehydrator is level or if your flooring is level, you may have a gap, but if you can, try not to have a gap. And just be careful not to overfill it. Because you see those gaps? Oh, I don't think you can see those gaps. Let me bring you closer. Do you see those gaps there? Like there's one right there, and there's one right there. Right now I'm just filling in the gaps with the egg, but be very, very cautious not to go overfill it. So I'm safe with that. I don't want to go any further. Let me bring you slowly back down. So I'm going to go get my other tray. Carefully lay it on top and repeat. So I gotta go make some more eggs. I'll bring you right back to that next phase, okay? Okay, I'm gonna bring you back because I'm gonna show you the outer edges. Let me grab a tray that has one. The outer edges that are darker and not so light are not cooked all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those pieces, put them in this bowl. Then once I'm done with all four of my trays, I'm going to put them back on the tray jelly roll. And you can see how it's pliable? It's not supposed to do that. If that does that, that means that is not totally dry. Plus you could see how they're sticking to your fingers. So I'm just going to take all the really dark pieces. That first batch seemed to dry up, so I may need to feel that and see if I feel any moist pieces and dehydrate it again. I would do it for at least another. I would do it for at least an hour, and then check it to see if it's totally dry. Yeah, see, look at that. It's bendable, and you don't want that. So I'm just pulling out all the little dark pieces. And what I may end up doing is, once I've powdered everything, put all the powder, all the trays of powder, back on the dehydrator at the same time with the bigger pieces, and let them totally make sure that they're totally dry, because you have got to make sure they're totally dry. That's the biggest thing. Okay, so we'll bring it back when we get to that next phase, and we'll check them out. Okay, we are back, and I'm going to show you. See the colors? They vary in the egg powder. It's because some of those eggs pieces, I went ahead and decided to grind the whole thing, make it all together, so when I reheat this, excuse me, now when I dehydrate this I'm going to do it for 100, and I'm going to lower the temperature because they're already dry. Now I want to make them really, really dry because there's still a couple of moist areas, and you can see the darker yellow is the ones that are moist. Okay, it's not as powdered as that very first one that was really, really white. So I'm going to put this back on one of my still dirty jars. Save all this for later. I'll come back to that. And then I'm just going to lay my powder on my jelly jar. Use the back of your spoon, smooth it out, because you want to get an even layer so your dehydrating time is less than if you keep it in mounds. So you want to make it all nice and smooth. Try to get a really thin, even layer. I have done this for years because I've been dehydrating for over 30 years. This is I think my third dehydrator in that length of time, because before the freeze dryers came out for home use, all you had to powder stuff was dehydrating. Okay, so I think that's good enough. I might get myself another tray. Another jelly jar. Let's see how much that makes. My particular machine requires you to use 4 trays at the same time when you're using it. So make sure you double check your manufacturer restrictions on your owner's manual. If you don't have one, Google your manual. Google pretty much has a lot of manuals of even the older machines. So you should be able to download a manual there. Or if not, YouTube it and see if someone's using your particular body model and body style of machine. Okay? And since I have to use all 4 trays anyway to use my machine so I don't damage it, I'm okay with using all my trays to go back to dehydrate. So if this is a thin layer, I'm okay with that because I got to use all 4 trays anyway. And you will feel oiliness because that's part of the egg process, the eggs itself, the yolk and the white of the egg. Be very careful when you're using metal inside your metal canning jars, because if you scrape too much, you may cause a very hairline crack. I think I can get away with just doing 3 trays. And I'm going to leave that just the way it is. You can scrape it if you want to, scrape the inside, but to me it's not worth it. It's just an outer trace. I'm good. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse and wash that jar out before I put the powdered eggs back into that same jar. I like to use a wide mouth jar so I can grab a spoon as I'm eating a recipe and I need some eggs. I can just grab a spoon, stick it in there. So for me, using a wide mouth jar works better. But that's just me. You do your own research, and you do what's best for you and your machine that you have. But this is a good way to extend the shelf of your eggs and always have a readily supply of eggs for nutrition and for baking and for cooking for any time you need it. Yeah, okay, I'm good to go there. That's a pretty level. It's gonna go, and then your hands got a little oily, and you'll see the oil. That's just part of the process. So I'm going to go lower my temperature on my dehydrator to 115. And then I'm going to set my timer for an hour. And then we'll be back and see. And they should be totally dry then. And most dehydrators, double check yours. Even though this is a powder and as it's drying, it's still not going to go and fly all over the place. But it's going to be totally enclosed anyway. As you can see on the trays, are pretty much enclosed. So I've never had an issue with flying powdered egg or powdered anything when I had take it back and put it in the dehydrator. But again, like I said, do your own research. See what your dehydrator can and cannot do. Okay, so we're going to bring it back. But not until at least another hour when I come back and check. Alrighty, we're back. All treat trays. Oh, where's my spoon? Sorry, I need to go get my spoon. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Excuse what I look like. I literally came out of the garden, watering and fertilizing. I'm a hot mess. Okay, so I don't need to use this, I don't think. Get canning funnel, clean table. Let me just double check it. Yeah, because I wiped it down before I left to go to the garden. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Actually, this is powder. I am going to use parchment paper on this. Strictly to save on the big mess. Because I can just roll it and put it in the jar. The ones with the center hole, you have a little bit more difficulty because of the center hole. Or if you have the square or the rectangle ones, you can just tip it over and bend it. But because of the hole, it leaves a big mess. Ask me how I know that. Yeah, ask me how I know that. Okay. So that should work. Now. Yep. Sorry if you can't see. I've got to work with what area I have to work with. Oh yeah, that powder is all dry. That's going to go in the I'm going to wash that. See how much more easier that is than doing it on the table? Okay. Let's get the other tray. I don't want to tilt this too much because this is powder. Okay, so let's get this one. Let's move some of this out of here. And I'm going to do the same for all three, and then we are done. I'm going to label my jar. Today's date, month, day, and year. Dehydrated eggs with the recipe. I'll do a pop-up of how many tablespoons or cups, I forget what it is. I have it on my other jar that's in the pantry right now. But I'll put a pop-up and give you time to write it down or screenshot it. So you'll know. It's always best if you can put the recipe of how much to use, because when you're out and about doing stuff, I don't know if you're like me, I forget. I'm trying to do too many things at one time. So for my life and with my OCD, it just makes my, ooh, that was a big mess. You just sweep up the whatever you spilt on the floor, because believe me, I have to do that because we walk barefooted most of the time here in the house. You definitely don't want to be walking on pieces of dehydrated items. Okay, now let's do the last one. Feels good in the AC, but oh, I'm so burning up. I was out there 4.5 hours. It's supposed to be 101. That's why I start early, because it's going to be a hot one here in Houston, Texas. Okay, now, ooh. Watery nose. Allergies are kicking me. Alrighty. Okay, that's done. Gotta get garbaged. Clean table. And I did wash my hands with soap and water before I started because I just come from the garden. I had to kill 4 little caterpillars that were trying to eat my kale. And it's like, I hate squishing bugs, but you got to do what you got to do. Okay, so let's move. I'm not going to throw this egg away because I'm used to clean table. I can do this. I'm going to put this right back in my jar. Here we go. Now I'm going to vacuum seal this. This is a good time to use your old lids and rings because they're not going to touch the food. I'm going to vacuum seal this. Get my little label it. Sorry about that. And this is my take on canning fresh eggs and rehydrating them and powdering them to use in recipes. If you want fresh, off the griddle, scrambled eggs, I'll put a pop-up on the descriptions. I forget what the quantity and the recipe, how to do it, how much powder, how much water, but I'll put that in the pop-up. So, what do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Love to hear your comments. Take care now. Bye-bye.